Hello, welcome back to the garden. We are here on week 14 and things are a little bit different this time because we're just jumping straight ahead. Nothing really happened between week 10 and week 13, of which videos you have never seen because I didn't upload them to YouTube. But there are a few things, like my garden was destroyed. And so for the past month, it's just been kind of depressing around here. And I can't even edit the videos. I've gone through 2 of them. They're pathetic. I sound horrible. I'm pretty bummed. I got pretty bummed about it. We're skipping ahead because there's other content I want to get to. And when it's a super depressing video, I don't want to edit it. And so I just keep putting it off. And thus we're at week 14 and you've only seen week 9 and you've seen no other content from me this summer, which is crazy because I've been filming a lot of other content. So we're just going to skip ahead, get through this garden tour. There's some depressing stuff, there's some dead stuff, there's a lot of picked stuff, way too early of picked things, and you know, it is what it is at this point. So we're just gonna get through it. It's gonna be great. I just want you to know you can overcome adversity. Don't give up, don't quit. I will still have a garden next year. I just now know what definitely not to do and how to possibly, hopefully protect my garden from the male pests that live in my house, because that's who it is. There's a bonus for that girl staying up in her room all day. Shouldn't destroy anything. There's a bonus if you have a kid who does that. Let's just start the tour. Okay, so I've been editing a bunch of videos and I don't remember, because I did go through and edit 10 through whatever the last week's was, and I'm pretty sure you've seen this and that it's moved. So fire pit moved over here. The cats sleep on the chairs. There's a broom sitting there because, as you do, the lemon boy, none of the lemon boys are producing very big fruit. I mean, those are like saladette / cherry tomato size. Like, they're tiny. But I've determined that this is a pumpkin. Pretty sure it's pumpkin. That's a pumpkin. It's some kind of gourd. So anyway, we got 2 on there, and that's all we got. And chick eggs. Marigolds have, like, they take off. That's 4 plants. If I had known that they would get massive, I had no idea they got massive. I probably only would have planted 3 right here, but you learn. The kale, this is funny. It grew back. I cut it completely down. It grew back and it's clearly dying off or being eaten or something. These are beans, one of which is massively already struggling. Look at that. These were planted within the time period of you not seeing anything. All of this is new. There's beans, carrots, radishes. There's beans, carrots, and radishes in here. My onions, I have like 5. I don't know. My children, you've missed all of these. At least 50 tomatoes. You can kind of see there's a pile of them down there. They were all picked when they were like light green. At least 50 tomatoes have been picked by children when they look like that. So that's slightly discouraging. We have a big boy falling over. I need to fix that, but that happened overnight, or yesterday maybe. But anyway, so let's move on. The cucumbers took forever, and then I just kind of left them alone, and I currently see 3 massive ones. So we have this bad boy, and then last night I was like, I'll just wait until I do the tour. There's that guy. And then there's one down in there too, I see. Now, I usually save my zucchini until later, but look at my zucchini. I watered them. That's diatomaceous earth all over them because they're being attacked like nobody's business. And I put way too much on, but I didn't stinking care. I do have 1 zucchini down there. And I think this plant, which, can you tell that it's completely rotted? Like, look at that thing. It's being eaten alive. I had to pull 1 plant out. I didn't have to pull it out. I moved it and it just came off because it's all snapped off like that one. But the reason I left this plant is it has 2 zucchini on it. And they look like they're growing. See, there's a zucchini. There's another one in there. I don't want to move this thing. Once I get those 2 zucchini, and once I get that zucchini, which should be this week, they're all just going to come up. And then the watermelon is still in there. So Some of them are doing fairly well. They've all been flowering, so I'm just kind of waiting for that stuff. I don't know if it functions like the zucchini with the female and male flowers. I didn't even check. Anyway, that's my zucchini. I've only gotten one. I have not been harvesting at all. I got the one back in like June, and then I massively cut them down, and they basically had to restart. So don't overcut them. I took too many tips. Okay, here's my advice on everything. Try tips from everybody. So My Gardener is a big gardening channel, and he has several ways. He's like, no, this is the best way to do it. But it's not in every single zone and climate. And the majority of us don't live in the exact same type of climate as Michigan. So, and even Michigan has 3 or 4 different climates. My advice would be, if you want to do the, one, no suckers and just one thing, pick one plant to do that with. And also plant a variety of tomatoes, because not all the heirlooms are going to grow in your area. Not all of them are going to overproduce in your area. Typically, the ones you can find in the stores are going to be your best bet. I kind of had that figured out. We have our regular bell peppers. Oh, we didn't see this. Sun completely destroyed that. We ripped out this lemon boy because it didn't even have flowers and it was taking up all the space, so I could plant peas, of which never came up. Basil, that kale needs to be cut all the way down. All my Brussels sprouts completely died off. Got pulled out. There's one right there that just needs to get ripped out of the ground. That bell pepper is producing mini bell pepper. Do you see it? It looks like it's still gonna go. This one is coming back to life, so that's promising. The tomatillos, they're falling. I don't know if they're falling or they got picked. Sorry, but they're producing like crazy. Now, my husband did mow yesterday, so we did move the plants, so they look kind of not amazing. But there's got to be hundreds. This one especially. This is the short, fat one. Oh, and there's a pepper that fell over in there. But there's way more like on the bottom. Way more on the bottom. Then my tomatoes, I changed this up a little bit. I put chain link fence up because they could not stand up. They were all just laying on the ground. Like they couldn't handle anything. And look, it looks like Aroma's having an issue too. This is my Brandywine, of which only has one tomato on it, but it does have a few flowers that are blooming. This is the Cherokee Purple, and it's got quite a few tomatoes on it. Nothing substantial, but there's several now. And then these are the Beefmasters that were my last minute, is this even a good idea? They don't look that great because they were all laying down on the ground. And I really beat them up putting them in this chain link fence. I really think this is probably the way to go, but it's better if they're babies and you're establishing them up into the fencing versus a established plant and trying and snapping off half the branches, because that's what happened. But my whole thing is I will get tomatoes, dang it. So and then here's Roma's, one of which is falling over, and I can't fix it right now, so it is what it is. So anyway, this one actually has a red one on there. I need to pick that. These were picked crazy too, but they seem to keep producing, and I thought they produced all their fruit at once and then they were done. But we have, look at oh God, there was an animal in there, or it's falling. It's just falling. I couldn't tell you though, because he doesn't hunt nothing. Everything's still moving. It's freaking me out. So anyway, this is the one on the end, and it's still got baby flowers on there. And then there's my gosh, okay. Then there is my blackberry bush, yeah, which I thought was gonna die, and it's not. Look at it. It's going like crazy. It'll be fine. It's gonna take off. It'll be great. Also these, which I never show in these tours, but I planted a pack of seeds and stuff from Menards. This on the end is lemongrass. It's so funny because I kept telling my husband I planted these on purpose, and he says I know, but he left the weeds. And I was like, no, everything in that section, I don't know. I'm very confused. He needs to come out and explain what he was talking about. But I think he thinks this is a weed and this is a weed, but all of this was planted on purpose. So we've got a lot of zinnias that are being attacked by something. What attacks zinnias? Like, look at that. I feel like I can't win right now. And then that's a kid attack. And then the other side, which I feel like he did possibly kill something over there. I don't know. Don't mind a folded up, nasty looking pool that has been sitting there all summer. But anyway, lemongrass, I don't know what the other grasses are, and then a whole bunch of zinnias, and then there's other, it was just like a cut flower mix, I think is what it was. It turned out pretty awesome. So it's just nice little, throw it all over the ground and just let it take off, and it's filler. I kind of like it that way. All right, into the front with my tomato forest, basically is what this is. So we have a bag of potatoes in there. All of these are the 10-gallon totes back there, and then little ones, and I think this is radishes and spinach, which isn't going to survive very well because obviously they need more room than that, and I've just never transplanted them. Once I came out here, everything really took off, so they needed way more sun than they were getting on the back patio. This is a pepper that just needs to get ripped out because it hasn't produced. It produced one pepper that fell off underripe, and these are suckers. These are suckers. There's a few 10-gallon totes with suckers. These were suckers. These were suckers. Like all the ones from the last video that I uploaded, they are here and producing flowers, and I have no desire to make them get huge. I just want them to possibly maybe grow some tomatoes. It is August 9th. Our first frost date is the very end of September, and then hard frost is somewhere in the range of mid-October. That obviously varies from time to time, but they don't have a lot of time from flower to get to ripened fruit at this point. So by the end of August, I will be picking off all the flowers every time they pop up, because there's no way those will get to a fruit point at all. So anyway, this is a golden jubilee, and it's yellow, and it's finally stuff is finally starting to turn up here. So that's exciting. That's super exciting. There's a ton of cherry varieties up here. Also, my chocolate sprinkles, I thought this one was completely dead because my son Parker put the giant car, like the ones that have batteries, and you drive around, on the plants. There's a reason they're up here. I wanted to save tomatoes, but it was not producing any more flowers. It came out here, it grew a sucker, and it's not just produced flowers, it's got tomatoes all over it. So also, if you hear my cats, she left because they are a brother and sister. They're litter mates, and they fight more than children do. Strawberry plants. Also, I don't know, but we have pumpkins in here. So there's a pumpkin plant. And then there's another one over here, but here's my tomatoes. These are supposed to be yellow pears. If anyone could tell me what types of pears look like this, I would greatly appreciate it. False advertising. There's no way every single one. It's every single tomato, and it's growing funny. This is a fun plant. Then we have sun sugars. These are the yellow ones, the super sweet. We're experimenting. There's a pumpkin in that, plus my jalapeno, plus my cute little gnome from Michael's, thyme, and another one that finally started producing flowers at the very tip top again. Another pumpkin in a window box that I never put up on the window. Another pumpkin. Cilantro that needs to get planted today. And then here's my big bad mamma jamma guy that's folding in on himself because he was literally as high as the window. It was ridiculous. So I've just got him folded in on himself. He's got a lot of cherries that we need to cherries. I just call them cherries. He's got a lot of tomatoes. I probably get one handful. This looks like today it's going to be two handfuls of tomatoes every other day. It's August. It's just very, not encouraging. So next year we will be planting much, much earlier because this is beyond frustrating. I wanted my kids to be able to eat food all summer long. They're going to be back in school before there's actually decent harvest. Also, well, now my shadows are in the way. I don't know if you can see this, but this strawberry plant is massive. It's like everywhere. It's actually over by that. Do you see a little tiny bit of strawberry over there? This one's the All-Star. The one on the other side that never spread out is the Ozark Beauty. Both of them have produced strawberries. This one, the birds got to the strawberries before we did, but that's fine. But I'm going to have to transplant those in a couple of months, and that's going to stink. But hopefully they'll come back next year. If not, I'll just buy another plant. Not the end of the world. And the last thing. Last week, I believe it was, my husband was mowing and weed whacked out in here. And now I've learned why nothing survives. And he just tore down 3 of my jalapeno plants, all of which had jalapenos on them. So that was kind of discouraging. Oh, it's literally every boy I live with, like literally every boy. But, the nice thing is the hydrangeas are taken off. So we've got this one, of which I have every intention on cutting those off for the house. And then we have the end one. Oh, and those are not hydrangeas. I was really hoping those weeds were, but they're weeds. Then we have this one that's on the corner that just looks so much prettier. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. I make these. I hope people watch them. Not a lot of people watch them, but it's okay. We'll get there. We're just starting. Everything is just starting. YouTube is just starting. The garden is just starting. In 5 years, this garden, my backyard is going to be phenomenally different. And I'm going to know so much more. Like I think I said in the beginning, this is not a gardening channel. I'm not going to teach you how-tos as of right now. I might be able to throw out tips in a couple of years, but I'm not there yet. I just want you to know that if you struggled massively this year, if you were determined to have your own food and everything went against you, you're not alone. I went through the exact same thing. I was determined. I was like, I am not going to be that person who completely fails the first year. That's fun. I'm not giving up. I'm not a quitter. So next year, bigger garden, different garden, better garden. Now that garden tours are up to date, we're going to start into some more fun content. I do have 4 kids, and they are going to school pretty soon. So there's some of that stuff coming. Tips and tricks and, shopping hauls, because why not? If you've made it this far, stick around, because it gets more interesting from here on out, I promise. With all of that being said, always remember, you're never alone. We're all in this together.